In terms of finish to quite a long story here, is that the way you would have liked it to have ended?
With a win, yes. I would have taken a point today, would have taken a 1-point win for our fans, and to send off what's been a stadium full of fantastic memories for our footy club. We really built it up internally, with our playing group, that this was a really important game for our club and our fans. So we showed them a lot of vision of the past champions that have played here, and we had all the players, or a lot of past players, in the rooms today before the game. So we did our very best to relay to our players how important this was for our fans. So good that we won in the end by 68 points. We played some scrappy footy. We got the job done. Wasn't pretty, but yeah, nice way to finish off our time here with a win.
Scott, you actually think you had 22 touches in the first half. How, from your point of view as a player, how important to win?
Oh, I think the coach just touched on it. There was a lot of emotion riding on the game today. There's been 23 years of history at this oval for the football club, and probably at the end of the day, it's a nice way to send off the supporters and members that have been here from day dot and now start a new journey at Adelaide Oval.
Did you feel a fair bit of pressure to get the win? Obviously, such a build-up and a lot of people came around for the game.
To be honest, no. As a club, it hasn't been the best year for us, so we were, as much emotion there was riding on the game, we just went about our normal week and trying to put the steps in place to get ourselves heading in the right direction again, and build on this week and next week and look forward to the pre-season.
Do you think it was your best game, Scott, for the season?
Oh, how many games? We played 21 now. It's testing my memory. So, look, I was happy with my first half. More importantly, though, I'm happy that we won. That's a nice way to finish off at this oval. Yeah.
What did you make of the start? Was it about you or about them?
A little bit of both. Their pressure was good. We seemed to be second to the footy, a bit fumbly. It just took us a bit of a while to sort of kickstart us into the way that we like to play. I honestly thought we could have put them away a bit in that first half, and we just played some ugly footy to finish off the second quarter. We allowed them to get back in the game. We gave them a bit of a sniff, which you can't allow a young side to feel like they're still in the game. So at times it's been a bit of a story of the season. I don't think we're playing bad footy, but we're just not playing good footy often enough. We're not playing good footy consistently enough. We're just showing some little signs in games where we just look horrible. So we've got to do our very best to eliminate those patches where we just lose our way. That'll be a focus over this summer.
Is that a concentration thing?
Yes and no. Sometimes the opposition, you can allow them to play well if you're off, if you're just even half a metre off, And I thought in the first half we weren't able to defend how I wanted the team to defend. We were too slow to react in transition, and we allowed the ball we allowed them to go coast to coast too often. We look a lot better side when we can force them to create turnovers in our half. So most of our goals come from forward half pressure and turnovers, and yeah, the last quarter in particular, that was much better. 7 goals for to 2 goals won in the last quarter is when we were able to get on top and turn the ball over in our half.
Who did you like a lot today, Sando? Who were your favourites?
Some of the young kids were great again. Kerridge was better after quarter time. I thought Luke Brown was very good. Laird, Crouch again. Louis Johnson kicked 6, I think 4 in the last quarter. But this might have been the smallest forward line we've ever put on the park. We lose Tom Lynch in before the game. He's going to have surgery on Wednesday, but our forward line today was very young, very inexperienced, hardly any games, and they found a way to kick 120 points. So that's a positive. I've said it all year. I've really liked the young kids and how they've stood up to a full season of AFL footy. Thommo was back to his best today. He was brilliant in that first half. Really set the game up for us, and a few of the other boys finished off really well as well. Tambling, 25 touches, hasn't played much AFL footy in the last 3 years, but that's a positive for us. He didn't look out of place today, so that was good as well.
Brendan, on that, when you lose Lynch, you've got an emergency list that's got McKern.
Yep.
Like for like, 1 for 1. If you don't pick him, what are you saying to him?
We'll probably play, without jumping ahead, we'll probably play McKernan next week. But we looked better with a running side, so that's with Jacobs doing the ruck work, I guess the majority of the ruck work, and Johnson and Otten and those guys rucking in the forward line. But Some teams you just can't play one ruck against, and West Coast might be one of those sides. So, yeah, McKernan, I've still liked some of his stuff this year. He's a really important player for us. There's not too many 198 centimetre forwards around who can go in the ruck. But I guess at match committee we, in the end, selected a running side. Jacobs was fantastic, 42 hit-outs. We won clearances by 11. It looks like it was the right decision. We'll have to reassess that next week. West Coast is a completely different prospect.
Was his injury, did it sneak up on you a little bit, or was that to get him ready for pre-season?
No, it did sneak up on us a little bit. He's been having pain-killing injections for the last few weeks, but it got to the point where the doctor and I had a discussion and the decision was made. Tom flew to Melbourne on Thursday, and after consultation with the surgeon there, it was decided that the best decision for him to make now, for him and for the footy club, would be put him in for surgery now. So he'll miss probably 8 to 10 weeks of running, which means we're getting back at the start of pre-season. But I guess at this stage of the season, you know, we can't make finals. It's the right decision to make. We bring in Tambling. We have a good look at him. He was good today, so I guess in the end it's the correct decision to make.
What sort of a foot injury is it?
He's got a really nasty bursa, where he's going to have some of that bony part shaved away. We have had a couple of different opinions. One of them was they'd have to break his foot, and then, but we didn't like that one. But the surgeon that he saw on Thursday thinks it'll be sort of an 8 to 10 week injury. He's just got a very unusual gait, the way that he runs. He really stomps, and it just puts a bit of pressure through his foot. But it's been one of those seasons for us, you know. It seems like every corner we turn, we're met with a trauma injury and a player going in for surgery, you know. It's been the season of broken legs, broken ankles, foot injuries, shoulder reconstructions. Unfortunately, it's the year of traumatic injuries for us. We'll lick our wounds and we'll be back better next year.
How long has he carried? How long has he had?
It's been sneaking up on us. I reckon for probably the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's been something that's just been sort of niggling away.
Wasn't that, you remember that time when he did his footy? Was it that one?
No, similar sort of injury, yeah, but he's been fighting this one probably for sort of 2 to 3 weeks, but just getting progressively worse.
So is it fair to say that Louis Johnson's in a new contract?
Yeah, he's out of contract, yeah, so he was very good today. As I said, his role would be very different with Jenkins and Walker in the side. That's where probably, you know, Johnston and Lynch would be fighting for that third tall sort of role. But yeah, he's done enough this year. You know, the injury for him during the season came at a horrible time. You know, we lost Walker and Johnston within a week of each other. He obviously took his medicine, had a break, came back, played well for North, and then, you know, he's kicked a 4 and a 6 in the last month, which is good for him.
So where does he fit into that lineup? So you get Walker back, Jenkins is your two key.
Third tall forward, I think, yeah. So a very different role. As I said to the boys today, our key forwards today were Otten, Johnston, Kerridge and Dangerfield. Our tallest one of those is 188 centimetres, you know, so that's the smallest forward line I've ever seen play for the Crows, and certainly since I've been coaching here. In my time at coaching at Geelong, we never put out a forward line as small as that. But, you know, as Michelangelo said, we could have played McKernan, but we felt like a running game was the way that we could beat Melbourne today.
So you're keen to re-sign Johnston, or other clubs may come knocking, obviously, after today?
Oh, no, he'll certainly play for us next year. Yeah, he'll be offered a contract without question.
And how do you rate him as a player?
He's good. He's very good. Yeah, he's still got some footy to learn. Some of his raw stuff is exceptional. But yeah, he's still got 2 or 3 things that I'd like him to improve on, and that'll be some areas that we'll work on over the summer.
Talking about small forwards, Ian Callan, what have you liked, or what have you seen of him for him maybe getting a contract next year?
Yeah, he's a really important player for us too. You know, we had 39 goals from him last year. He's been out of the side for a lot this year, but we've seen him today. Some of the class, I'd like him to get his hands on it a little bit more than what he does, because when he does, he punishes the opposition. You know, left and right foot. There was one out in front of the old scoreboard today where he turned on his left and just nailed one to Scotty. Yeah, so it's we just got. I mean, he's 30 or 31 years old. I wish he was 21. You know, starting now. Yeah, I wish we could have got his hands on him a long time ago. But that's a list management decision that we'll make at the end of the season. You know, same with Tambling, same with Johnston. You know, we're talking about you know, how our squad looks next year.
Your forward line obviously been a drama this year with Tibbett gone and injuries to Walker and Jenkins. Looking forward with that group of players, you think can be quite solid next season? Yeah,
it'll change dramatically, I guess, round 1 next season. You know, it could be a very different looking forward line. You know, Paul Pleasure hasn't had the year we were hoping for him and us. You know, and if he has a good summer, he's back in the mix there next year. So there could be 6 very new players lining up for us forward next season. You know, yeah, I guess that's all I'll say about it.
Since you've closed off that coach's box here, have you thought much about what footy's going to be like at Adelaide Oval, for the way your team's going to have to play?
No, I haven't. But there will be a huge focus for us over the summer. Yeah, that'll be. What adjustments we'll have to make to our game plan to fit our home. You know, 12 games there a season. We'll have to look at the dimensions. We'll have to look, you know, whereas it's funny today, even when like Melbourne had some shots up the southern end in certain parts, I knew that they probably wouldn't kick it because there's, I don't know what it is, you know, the Tony Hall pocket, there's little Bermuda triangles out there. We want to get on there as quick as we can to make sure we get a look at the wind there. No, our first look at the stadium and the goals might be our first game, yeah. So that's what we have to live with, but we've got a long future there and we're looking forward to a really exciting chapter. As Thommo mentioned before, Chapter 1's now closed. Chapter 2 looks really exciting. It looks really exciting.
Scott, as a player, when the crowd did the Mexican wave in the last 10 minutes, what was that like out there?
Yeah, it was a bit old school. It was actually a great feeling. We were fortunate to have the scoreboard our way, and as a player out there, actually, Brenton touched on it before the game, don't get caught up in sitting there and looking around thinking, how good's this? We're in front last game here at Amy Stadium, but I did take a sneak moment there and just have a look around, and it was great to see the crowd enjoying themselves.
How do you see the future of the footy club on field?
Great. Sando touched on about half a dozen young guys that have come in and definitely showed us that they can perform at this level. It goes to show that heading forward, the club's got great depth, and then we get some key players back next year. I think we're in a really good position to still give it a really good nudge at, you know, that final week in September, which would be nice. I mean, I'm not getting self-indulgent here, but I'm not getting any younger either, and I'd love to play in a grand final and win a grand final, and I definitely think we've got the list to do that, and if we're going to do that, you need to have the depth in the squad, and I think we've got that.
Brendan, there was a lot of free agents that signed this week.
Yep.
Corona goes out and a couple of others. Is the market still there and open for you, or
is it
too thin now?
No, it's not too thin. We'll explore every avenue to make our squad better in the off-season. So we understand that we haven't got the draft picks in rounds 1 and 2, but there's going to be opportunities for free agency, for trading, and hopefully opportunities to move up in the draft. How that's going to play out, we'll have to just wait and see, but we'll certainly explore every avenue to improve our squad in 2014.
So there's stuff there still interesting?
Yep, very much so.
How did Charlie pull up?
Talia, a nasty cork in the glute, in his backside. That one should settle down pretty quickly. Yeah, he certainly will play next week.
Carriage?
Yeah, Carriage, nasty hit in the ribs. I think he's okay. He came back on the ground. It looks like he'll be okay too.
Scott, when do you ink a new deal?
Say that again?
When do you ink a new deal?
Soon, hopefully. What, going around again?
Yep.
Yeah,
So, Scott,
we'll sort that out soon.
Do you think the players will miss the comfort zone of playing at your training ground?
I wouldn't have thought. Speaking to the players, they're really excited about the new chapter. I think Adelaide Oval will be great for football in this state. It'll draw people to South Australia to come and watch the game. Restaurants, accommodation close to the Oval. I think it's great for the state.
Right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next week, and then who's going to Perth?
Not us.
You wouldn't be going.